It's fun.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast, coming at you loud and proud, bringing strong opinions and salty humor to Ohio State football. These fellas were born and bred in the Buckeye State, and their brand of banter is guaranteed to entertain and excite you. But if you're not a Buckeye, don't bother. Visit us at thebuckeyecast.com and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at The Buckeye Cast to stay up to date on all things Ohio State football. And be sure to subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
All right, let's kick this bitch off. What's up, Buckeye Nation? Here we are. We are getting ready for OU. We're getting ready to boom the Sooners. We are the Buckeye Cast. I got Sean in here right now. What's up, Sean?
What's happening, y'all?
Jeff's going to join us shortly. He's on a rescue mission. And you know how to get a hold of us. Please hit us up on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, your favorite podcast app. Also the website, thebuckeyecast.com. I should also tell you that we have a streaming version of every game up there, usually the next day. So look for that. If there's no other reason to visit the site, at least you can watch the game there. It's usually the 40-minute version or 30-minute version of the game, so you can digest it quickly. As you all know, you can hit us up on at the Buckeye Cast on all social media. Hit me up at joe@thebuckeyecast.com. We did not have any Twitter questions this week. Again, 2 weeks in a row.
You
I'm sorely disappointed. Bitterly disappointed, as Harbaugh would say.
Bitterly.
To imitate his idol. So, quickly, I wanted to recap Indiana. I know we did our Extra Point show. I hope everybody caught that one. Came out, I think, Saturday morning. But the Extra Point show I thought went really well, where we just gave you a quick little few minutes from each of us. Jeff's was my favorite. He sounded like Tom Brokaw reading shit. It's hilarious. Hi, Tom Brokaw. No. Anyway, I wanted to recap Indiana real quick because, obviously we watched the game Thursday night and got our initial reactions without digesting things like stat sheets and coaches' comments and interviews and things like that. So, Henry, you want to run through this real quick with me? I got some bullet points I'd like to throw at you and get your reaction.
Yeah, throw them at me. You guys got my quick takes, but I left a lot out and couldn't pontificate on some of my other areas of concern. But yeah, throw them at me on what you got.
Okay.
There was pluses and minuses all over that field.
Yeah. So one quote from Herb's Monday press conference was that stood out to me, and I thought was most meaningful. Was he said, "Beating someone 70-0 last week wouldn't help us at all. We have things to work on." And I think we saw those. I don't think you need a lot of, like you said, pontificating on what those are or elaboration. Obviously, secondary problem. There's some problems in there. And receivers still. Do you see something else?
Well, yeah, I do. And, I don't know if 70-0 would have helped you or not, Herb, but basically the first half of that game, frankly, a lot of the second half too, where we did execute better in the second half, obviously, but it reminded me a lot of last year, and I got to tell you, I was seriously bummed. I never thought for a second we were going to lose that game, but it looked a lot like last year, a bunch of small ball, and I don't understand it. With the horses that we got, I don't understand it, and I hope we can open it up a little bit more. That's that obviously the concerns. I mean, I think Herbie was giving JT some breadth, but I won't repeat some of the text that I sent during that game about JT. That first half, I was like,
it's
"What
okay, I will.
is this, man? It's the same shit."
Right. I will say, if you guys caught my Extra Points show, that I likened it to the coaches fucking with us in the first half. I know they weren't, because that's stupid, but it's like they were replaying the 2016 offense just to mess with us, and then in the second half they came out and were like, this is the new 2017 team. This is what we're going to look like. I realize that's stupid. It sounded funny at the time. But anyway, so IU's coach, whatever his name was, he made some comments after the game about JT being inaccurate, and their game plan against an inaccurate quarterback was to drop 8 in coverage. And you could see that working in the first half. Kind of shocking that he would just say that about a player on the other team.
I thought he said that before the game. He said that after the game?
After, yeah.
What a prick.
Yeah, I don't think he thought about it. So that's why they were dropping 8 in coverage. And, I did see the Buckeyes running new route combinations, which is good. I mean, not enough deep routes, but they were there. I mean, that drop by Paris Campbell was a 40-yard pass, and that was on the money.
That was on the money, but there were a couple others.
The one to Ben Victor that got the PI, that was a bad pass. That should have been on the outside shoulder, not the inside. He basically brought Victor back.
Where he had to come back to?
In the first half, yeah. It basically brought him back to double coverage, where it should have been, one defender on his inside shoulder.
That's JT Barrett's best throws, the underthrow where the receiver gets PI because he fucking has to turn around and go get the ball.
Yeah. So I did see better mesh routes and combo routes where you're rubbing a guy to get a guy open. And I think that's what Kevin Wilson brought to the offense. It didn't work every time, but it did work for Paris Campbell and Johnny Dixon, I'll say that.
Well, no one had a better rub route than what they had on one of their touchdowns. I don't know which one it was, but Jesus. that was done to perfection, and hats off.
That was the second half, third quarter, where they ran that tight end out. Yeah, that was fucked up. And then they had some holding on defense to Marcus Ball. We were inside the red zone for I believe it was our second drive, where we had to settle for another field goal, and Ball ran that little corner route, and he blew right by the linebacker, that Tigre Scales, and the dude just totally grabbed his jersey on his shoulder pad and grabbed him, yanked on him, and Ball broke away. But fuck, the ball was already landing in the end zone by that. So
right.
I saw a lot of missed calls on holding calls on IU's offensive line. They need the help. I get that. We do have an awesome D line, but let's keep it fair.
Here's what I noticed, and I could be wrong, but so I feel like JT when he's back there, and I will agree. There's some of these things where it looks like JT's fucked, and the receivers, they're kind of just standing there. It's like, get open, dude.
Right.
I mean, you
do
can't
something.
Stand right next to the corner when your quarterback's running around out there. Get freaking open.
Yeah.
But besides that, JT Barrett on passes to me is not that comfortable in the pocket, and I don't understand why, but I feel like he's, it's always his first read and then check down to the running back out of the backfield or something. He doesn't go through the progressions. He looks a little happy feet back there. I don't know. It's a yeoman's take on that shit, but I wish I could see him be JT of 2 years ago. I don't know if he's overthinking this shit or what, but
I have read things that he doesn't trust guys, like especially new guys. So I think that's why he sometimes will check off of a guy. I don't know who those guys could be at this point. Everybody in the receiving corps except for Victor and Mac have been there a while.
Well, I mean, if Lego was only going to throw up a guy's wide open, he wouldn't have completed a pass all night, because we were on those guys.
Right.
It's just they won the jump balls. The guy was throwing good balls. I realize, but sometimes you just got to throw people open. Trust your guy.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's where he struggles, But I was happy to see some explosive plays. You remember those last year? Those plays of 30 yards or more were few and far between. I mean, count them on one hand, maybe. So it was good to see 2 of those in the game. Could have been 3 with the drop by Campbell. And
but even so, did he complete a ball that actually a receiver caught above 15, past 15 yards past the line of scrimmage? No. And if I'm a team like, not necessarily Oklahoma, because the 12 doesn't play defense, but when you get into a playoff or against a good defense, I mean, nobody's gonna be deep for me. I'm gonna pressure the fuck out of Ohio State, and until we establish, which I hope we can this week or in weeks to come, that we got to keep you honest. I'm officially worried, not about this season. I think we had enough dogs to get through most of this season, but I worry if we do make the playoff, we don't have the plays that you let Bama put all 11 guys 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, you're going to be in fucking trouble.
Right. Yeah. So I got to talk about Dobbins. Obviously, as advertised, right? I mean,
hey, that was my spotlight.
That was right.
My spotlight. Wanted to see that boy.
Yeah. Hating on JT, but loving JK, right?
I love me some JK. I got no problem with JK.
All right.
I got a problem with running the rookie. Of course, he didn't play last year. He was hurt, right?
Right.
And now he's a freshman, so maybe the legs are fresh. But 29 carries, I thought was a bit much, especially since my DeMario McCall wasn't fucking out there. And I'm like, what has he done wrong? He was.
Yeah.
I thought our most promising guy, maybe him and Paris Campbell coming into this year, and I get nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, and I fed you a little info from Herb's call-in show from last week, that he's moving back and forth between running back and hybrid, and Herb said he's just got to get stronger, faster, and stay healthy. So I got to assume that he was a little dinged for that IU game.
I saw that, and I was wondering, did he take it too far? Did he try and get a little bit stronger and put on 15, 20 pounds, but now lost all his speed? Because his speed is what makes DeMario McCall. I mean, he gets the ball in his hands like, oh my gosh, that dude's faster than everyone else.
And he also mentioned consistency. So sounds like it's a combination of health and consistency to get him on the field. We're not seeing anything else that could be an issue. We're not hearing anything else.
You wonder if his success last year got in his head, like, all right, I'm going to be boss this year, and, got a little lazy. I don't know what it is, DeMario. If you're hurt, please heal soon. If you've been a bum in the weight room and losing some speed, hey, work on it, son. Can't wait to see it.
His final sentence might be the most telling of this situation, and Herb said, you better be lightning fast or you better be strong, and that's what he's working at. So maybe he's in that kind of Dontre mode in Dontre's early years, where it's like, which direction does he go? Does he stay lightning fast, or does he put on weight?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Did he hit a middle zone where, like, well, now you're kind of strong and you're kind of fast, but you're not really either?
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like he's caught in that Dontre area. Hopefully they figure it out and get him on the field. I could see him being the man next year, as the H. But this year, I don't know, man. It's not looking good.
I mean, I don't know. He's not even listed there as the second guy in, but
yeah, it's gonna have to take an injury to somebody above him at one of those positions for him to slide in and take a spot. The way it looks.
Well, we'll see. I'm pulling for you, McCall. You're my boy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we covered everything. Oh, secondary. I want to talk to you about that. So IU ran over 100 plays, and 70 of them were pass attempts. Almost 70 pass attempts. your take on the secondary rotation. We didn't see any of Okudah or Wade. I got to say that I think Ward is a stud. What do you think of that secondary? How they performed?
I was super frustrated at first. I've watched the game again, and I calmed down a bit. Agree with you. I think Ward is a stud. If you look at the stat sheet, what's crazy, Ward had 5 pass defenses. I think last year Conley had 17 the whole year. Ward had 5 against Indiana. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a crazy stat. Did give up the touchdown to what's his name, but I mean, you're playing jump ball with well thrown balls to a stud receiver that's 6'4" or however the big that Cobbs is, and I thought those guys did well. You know what? The thing I could say about Arnett and Sheffield, the guy wasn't wide open most of the time on a lot of those plays. They had him covered. He beat him on the ball. So I think that guy had a physical advantage against them. That's a concern, obviously, yeah. But I don't think they played that poorly. When you look at the stat sheet and you see that the 2 leading tacklers for the team were Sheffield and Arnett. It's like, yeah, I don't want my corner to be the best tackler on the team. That means his guy's catching fucking balls all day.
That's true.
So I want some pass defenses. I mean, I want you to be a sure tackler, and I appreciate that, but yeah, that's what you shouldn't be tackling that much. Let some linebackers lead that shit. Mm. So, but I don't know. They're a little bit small. I'm not that worried about where we're heading with that group. You just mentioned Okudah and Wade, who are coming in behind them, and I think Arnett and Sheffield will be serviceable the whole year. And after we changed and went to more zone in the second half and took away that man-to-man where our corners backs to the quarterback and you're trying to go against this guy and allow some safety help over the top, we did fine. I'm not that worried about it. I wasn't super impressed with Webb. I thought he would stick out just a little bit more.
He tackled well, but he didn't really have much going on in coverage. They kind of avoided the middle of the field, really, on passing downs.
I will give Shep total credit on that Fuller pick, though. That doesn't happen without him. It's actually probably a touchdown without that tip. Yep. And that was a huge play that if they score there, I mean, that could change the dynamic of the game. Not that I would have been worried we lost, but could have been a nail-biter.
That was a momentum drive. They had all the momentum going, and they were getting ready to score inside of 10 there. That was a huge play, yeah. One thing I mentioned in my extra points I want to reiterate is that going back to Ward especially, a DB cannot win every single pass attempt at them. They can win most of them, but it only takes the offense once. They get one, in the red zone especially, and it's 6, and it makes that DB look horrible because of where it's at, and it counts for a touchdown. But you can't expect a DB, and Ward, that one drive, they targeted him like 4 times at least, and he knocked down 3 of them. Unfortunately, they got the one pass on him in the end zone. So,
could you believe how many times it was the same fucking play?
I know, man.
Like, oh my God, they're going to run this all game long.
Yeah.
That's why I wasn't worried, because they were making some crazy one-hand grabs.
Right.
And that early. I'm like, you can't do this for an entire game. Yeah. And if you do, then, God bless you. Good for you.
Yeah, and that was the key, I think. That's why Herb said he actually singled out Lagau after the game and said that's the most accurate quarterback play I've ever seen in my life. And he's right, especially that first half. And I think that obviously the receivers helped him out quite a bit, by hauling in stuff that was just all over the place. But well-placed balls, and I'm not too worried about the secondary.
I think what you're going to see is you're going to see Indiana give some teams some fits, and the Buckeyes are the best team to handle Indiana because they run so many plays. They're so fast getting those plays in and out that I feel like we might be the only team in the Big Ten that has the defensive line rotation to deal with that kind of fatigue. I think some of the teams that I saw this weekend in the Big, their ones might be good, but can they go 2, 3 deep, which we had to do? And I mean, if we would have kept just the ones in there, I mean, how do you defend 90 something with 100 freaking plays? I mean, you got to be gassed.
Exactly, and I'm surprised they
It's like
didn't.
McGregor going again 10 rounds with Mayweather. That shit ain't happening.
Yeah, I use that analogy in my extra points as well.
Huh.
The Buckeyes took them into deep waters. But anyway, let's get into this Oklahoma game because there's a lot to talk about. You probably saw the depth chart. Nothing really changed. I don't think anything changed as far as starters go. Bowen is still in at right guard. I think you had a little beef with him.
Well, I did, and I saw that Urban addressed it. That someone asked him, someone else on the press conference he gave, I think it was today, asked him the same, and it was like, yeah, he graded out a champion. He's got some work to do, but
Right.
Coach Stud thought he did all right, and it was his first game, so he tried really hard. But I watched that game twice, man, and he's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's not trying hard and isn't going to be the guy, but there was a lot of plays where I'm like, who's that? Brandon Bowen. Falling down, not hitting anybody.
Yeah, my concern is if they were dropping 8 into coverage, like everybody said, like JT said, so that means they're only rushing 3, and why is that a problem? That should be easy for 5 O linemen to take care of, right?
And I think it was. I just think his didn't look that productive. And I mean, come on, first game starting for Ohio State. Yeah, you probably got a little bit of the jitters still. I certainly would.
Yeah, I know I do. Nothing really changed with receivers. We got the oars on Dixon and McLaurin, Mack and Victor, Campbell, KJ Hill. Defense, all the same suspects.
I liked McLaurin. I thought he was caught a couple good balls. I thought he blocked well. I saw him on a couple things. He was blocking well, and that's how you stay on the field at Ohio State.
Gentlemen,
there he is.
Hey now.
Hey. Sorry I'm late.
Jeff Warwick.
We're talking some Oklahoma.
Welcome. Jeff Warwick, everyone. Give him a big round of applause.
Yes, what's up, Buckeye Nation? Glad to be on.
We're just sliding into Oklahoma here. We just finished up the Indiana game.
You have any tidbits and tricks for Indiana?
What would you say? 100 plays, 70-some pass attempts.
Yeah.
You're gonna give up some. You're gonna give up some completions.
Spoken like a true DB.
But another thing, Indiana, I agree. Indiana might be a 9-win team this year because they're going to run some teams out of the gym. But they got to run the ball though. They cannot run the ball for shit.
No.
So that's going to be their downfall. I mean, that dude can throw 70, 80 passes, but he's going to put at least 3 or 4 in the other team's hands.
Let me see him do that in November in Indiana.
At some point in the year, they're going to play in some weather. As everybody in the Big Ten will, you're not jacking the ball 70 times around in a game, and that tempo, if they can keep that tempo though, they're going to hurt people. Sure, I mean doing what they did with us, but once people are going to see what adjustments we made, and they might say, and we don't have the athletes quite the Ohio State does, but we can still make it, put a safety over top, and they're not just going to throw the fucking jump ball.
I think they out-tempoed themselves because the second half they were not the same speed of a team. They were not running plays as quickly.
No.
They had like 60 plus at the half.
Oh, but, that coach is figuring, what the hell? Let's, fire all the guns, see what happens.
Sure.
I applaud the effort. But Indiana's going to give some people some trouble, but they're going to get into some games where
Indiana's going to win a big game against the big team in the Big Ten this year. They're going to beat a Michigan or Penn State, and
they can with that passing attack and constantly if you're constantly challenging the DBs, you're going to win. Yeah, you're going to win some of those battles. But like I said, you might be throwing 3 or 4 picks too.
Look at this QBR, 55% or 55 QBR with 400 passing yards. Something doesn't add up there.
And 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Something doesn't make sense.
I mean, and that's the thing. You looked at their, you think our DBs did a bad job, and they actually didn't. If you look at yards per attempt and yards per completion, we actually did better than them. Obviously, we had a couple breakaways, but we gave up a few. Some guys, the one-hand catch on the sideline, the touchdown where he drags the freaking. I mean,
those are
I don't care who you are. You're not stopping that.
And those are rare to get multiples of those in one game. Usually you get maybe 1 a game. They were racking them up left and right.
But you're right, but it does go to their offense. Like that tight end, that dude he might grow and be a problem for people.
Oh, I agree.
What
was this? I'm not even talking about Cobb, but that dude is for real.
They're gonna put up points. Can they keep people under 40?
I'm hoping he's eligible for the NFL.
Yeah, that tight end.
Yeah,
he's a real deal. But he hasn't played a lot of football. They said, injuries and whatever else. But anyways, let's get on to these fucking Sooners, bro.
What, these punks?
All right, dog. All right.
I'm mad shit. I'd hear everybody talking. We fucking Indiana's quarterback jacked it around on you. What do you think Baker Mayfield's gonna do? I think he's gonna eat the fucking turf like he did last year.
I agree 100%.
I mean, they don't. And now they don't have a running game, or do they have a running game? I guess is the question.
Their new guy's probably better than P. Ryan and Mixon put together.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! Yeah, two guys in the NFL right now. They're just plug and play.
No, and they're probably a lot better receiver with D.D. Westbrook being gone. Yeah. He wasn't that good.
Yeah,
not in our game.
Right.
But yeah, their best running backs both ran for 50 each against UTEP last week. Abdul Adams and Marcellus Sutton.
Marcellus
Wallace.
We could go into a million.
Yeah. My mind is churning.
Don't fucking develop a speech impediment.
I stopped at Uma Thurman.
Right.
Anyway.
Tony Rocky Horror
fell off a building. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, so speaking of dangerous tight ends, Mark Andrews could be a big problem.
I think he's going to have a little chip on his shoulder. He kind of got that chip knocked out of him last year. He got kind of beat up a little bit. He's probably a little salty about that. So he's a good tight end.
Who do we think is going to be covering him mostly? Like Baker, Webb? Who's going to have that responsibility?
Got to be Webb.
Like last year, Webb was lined up on him a lot, and because they're going to run spread. They're going to have 3 receivers and him split out. So, our dime DB, our nickel. A lot of times we might slide out Baker on him, I guess.
I'm fine with that. Baker held his own against that fucking running back on some of those wheel routes. Yeah.
So you see the blueprint though. I mean, he goes across the middle. You got to put some pads on him. He doesn't like to get hit. It looked like once he took those couple shots going down in the red zone last year, like we didn't hear from him the rest of the game. Now I know he missed some time, but not a lot. He was in that game, so maybe he's just a little jelly belly. He doesn't a little soft.
Well, he looked real good against UTEP.
He plays the Big 12. He ain't never been hit.
Right. And I'm sorry, UTEP sharpened those skills.
Yeah, he racked up.
Iron sharpens iron, right?
Leading receiver.
That's right.
They are minors, the UTEP minors.
Right.
So, he racked up 7 catches, 134 yards, leading receiver on the team. So, there's that.
Great.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I will take my hat off to Baker Mayfield. What did he go, like 20 of 21 or something? Stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fairly incredible. If I was playing catch with you in the backyard for you to catch 20 out of 21.
Yeah, with your arm, impossible.
Yeah.
And your hand?
Boom.
It'd be like winning the fucking lottery.
That's DB on DB crime right there.
Anyway, all right. But no,
Keep it fair, boys. Keep it fair.
Baker's gonna sling it. They're probably gonna throw around 50 pass attempts. Because they're gonna realize real quick, hey, we probably can't run the ball either. Let's just try to take advantage of these short DBs.
I'm so hoping that they think that their O-line is that good and Baker Mayfield's that good that they're going to take 7-step drops and like hang out and check down to like the third guy when Bosa and Lewis and Holmes. I mean, I think they're actually going to come out and be a little bit like, hey, we got the best O-line. We got Baker Mayfield. Let's sit back here and pick these boys apart. And I think that's going to break down on them real quick. And they're going to go to that Indiana style. Let's get the ball out of your fucking hand now because these guys are coming.
Well, yeah, that's the question is Baker Mayfield's strength is when he's out there running around like a retard, Yeah. And how do you stop that? You have fast D linemen that hawk him down.
Yeah. Roaming around and scrambling under stress is different than just roaming freely like you see Mayfield do so many times where he might run around in a circle and then get out to outside the pocket and he's just camping and he's just scanning the field. And ideally he's gonna be running for his life and not being able to plant, throw. He's gonna be throwing off. You get him rolling to his left. He's not going back to the right. You can shut off half the field by flushing him out. He's not going to hurt us with his legs, I don't think either. I mean, he's not a.
He'll pick up a crafty first down here and there with the legs, but
but he's not a Kaepernick or a Cam Newton that if you get them out on the edge wide open, they're going to hurt you down the field.
Well, he's not even a JT Barrett going to run it 13 times. Yards. I mean, that's
and if that dude starts running around a lot, he's going to get hit a lot.
Well, the key is, I would say though, with his scrambling is if you watch the receivers, they break deep, like behind the safeties when he starts scrambling. So that's the problem.
Why don't our guys do that? Because JT doesn't have the fucking arm to get it.
He doesn't scramble.
He runs over there and throws it out of bounds like 3 times against Indiana.
I don't know. Those were bootlegs. I don't know what the fuck those.
But you're right, Joe. They're taught that, but that's easily picked up on film. I mean, it's easy. I mean, it's on the web. Our guys are disciplined enough to stay deep, and they expect it. They got to know to expect it, and I'm sure that's all getting covered. Coombs has got to have. I'm sure he has the ear of his players when he talks in that DB room. I mean, he's built up quite a bit of. Good.
Do you think Oklahoma held back a bunch? Me and Joe were talking earlier. Because they played UTEP, they know it was never going to be a problem. Sure. Ohio State, you're playing Indiana. I pretty much feel like you're going to win that game, but it's still, you're talking a conference opponent at their house, primetime game. I don't know. I'm hoping we left a bunch of shit out.
I defensively, we probably did. But offensively, our offense is our offense, though. I don't think you're going to see much more imagination. It just them getting better at doing what they need to do. The first quarter, when we couldn't get open, that's an issue. I mean, that they need to just get better at running that scheme.
I think it was a feeling out period. If you're going back to the Indiana game real quick, I think it was Kevin Wilson's first game with our offense, and I touched on this in the extra points. I know I keep going back to my extra points in this show, but we don't have a fucking preseason like the NFL. My guy AI helped me out. If you guys haven't listened to it, go back and check out Extra Points. My buddy AI came in with his. We just have practice quotes, and we were talking about practice. That's all we have. So, we don't have another team to go against. So,
talking about practice.
Shout out to AI for jumping in there real quick. But I wanted to hit on this two-headed monster we got coming into Columbus this week with Weber and Dobbins. How do you guys see this being used? You think Weber gets the bulk of the carries and Dobbins is almost like a thunder and lightning combo, but they're both about the same size?
I don't know. I mean, Urban Meyer said at his press conference, I don't think he was exactly sure how they were going to.
He said J.K. Weber starting. at running back.
Right. Yeah,
Right. I'm sure. Does that say or on the depth chart?
it does.
It
I didn't
does
remember.
now
Yeah.
this week. Yep.
They're probably going to share time.
They're both 5'10". One's 208. One's 214.
Right.
Dobbins certainly a little bit more electric, I think, but Weber's going to do a fine job. I feel like you split them, keep them fresh. Like I said, I love Dobbins week 1, but I don't want to get in the habit of running my one guy 20-something times a game. 29 times is actually what Dobbins carried it, not to mention all the blocks, all the few receptions that he made. The one time where JT totally hung him out to dry on the sideline and he got smoked early in the first quarter. I don't want to see Dobbins taking all that. So, split it up.
Yeah, I'm sure. And Weber's hasn't done anything to lose his spot. I mean, it's not like it's one game. I mean, we can't lose sight of what Weber is to this offense, dude. He can be a 1,500-yard rusher.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Weber's solid. I feel like he was mentored by Zeke, and hey, you better learn to block. You better learn these things. These are the important things.
Pass catching.
And so I think actually Weber's probably been pretty valuable to the what's happening to J.K. Dobbins. I think that's getting passed along through our running back guys. Hey, you want to be running back at Ohio State? This is how we act. This is how we perform.
I think it was very smart to play J.K. last week if Weber was maybe just 100% for a day or two before the game. Hold him out.
Yeah,
I want a fresh Weber going against OU versus a fresh J.K. You know what I'm saying? And if they use both equally, that's fine, whatever. But I want a fresh Weber because we've seen what he can do, for a season.
I'm with you. Weber's money.
Yeah, and we can, right. And plus, as this progresses, we might be getting into some of these situations where we're going to go two in the backfield, get them both in the field at the same time. Once they, because they didn't know what they had. I mean, they knew what they had in Dobbins. They thought the kid was special, but they didn't know he was going to be able to put that kind of performance out there, running the ball. Would you say 29 times? You don't just expect a true freshman just first game. All right, we're going to get him for 25, 30 carries. Yeah. You don't know for that for sure.
Didn't play his senior year mostly because he's hurt. It's like, all right, now you're running back for Ohio State.
Yeah. So, I mean, now they realize, okay, like Duke can handle a whole load. Now it just opens up more possibilities of what they can do. And with McCall's issues with the, what Herb said about just injuries and just not being strong enough physically to be on the field and consistent.
How was he strong enough and consistent last year and don't have it this year? It pisses me off with McCall, and I want to see him.
Now, remember, too, really the only times we saw a lot of or consistent McCall was when games were already out of reach and he was going against guys
that
BG's backups.
Right. So,
of course.
It's not like we saw him in a lot of primetime playing time.
But when he was in there, he performed like an Ohio State.
Yeah.
Should perform. I don't know what his average was, but I know it was good.
It was close to 8 yards a carry. I think he averaged over 8 yards a carry for the season, but
you can only put so much on that, though.
That's something we have to defer to Herb about. I mean, we can't really debate why is he not good enough this year, but he was last year. Well, he was only good enough last year in mop-up duty, and he's probably still good enough for mop-up duty this year. You know what I mean? And Dobbins obviously surpassed him from December to now. Yeah. So it's and then Antonio Williams. He didn't
I don't ever think that Demario McCall was actually in line to be the starting running back at Ohio State. I thought he's more of a H-back type of guy, but just a guy that I thought deserved carries, deserved playing time. I'll defer to them.
I think we're going to see plenty of Demario.
He was just noticeably faster
if he's healthy.
When he played.
Yeah. So getting back onto the OU game, I caught a couple clips quickly of interviews this evening from Buckeye players. I haven't listened to all of Herb's press conference from this evening, but interesting quotes from Nick Bosa. The dude's a fucking character. In reference to Baker Mayfield, he said he's like Tate Martell on steroids. We've been so obviously Tate Martell's been running Baker Mayfield in scout team. Obviously they're very similar in how they play. So interesting.
I think that's valuable. That might be more valuable than a lot of us or a lot of Buckeye fans are looking at. The ability for Tate Martell, that type of caliber of quarterback, to imitate the McSorley kid from Penn State. Martell is going to do a great job of masking what that kid can do. I mean, I think it's a huge benefit to have that good of an athlete as your scout quarterback. Yeah. I think that can really. I think that can really pay off as the season goes on.
No, I think Martell will be. That is his value this year. It certainly isn't to win us big time games, but to give us good looks on right. Against two of the best quarterbacks that we're going to face. Yeah. Like you said, with Sorley and Baker. I think they both run around a bit. They're both elusive. I forget what they had Baker Mayfield listed at, but he is not as tall as they got him at in the fucking
6'2", 215. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cop sized him up about 190.
Yeah.
Hero's 2 inches shorter than me, and his license said 6 foot, and he had to go get it renewed. I was like, Hero, you're not even fucking close to 6 foot. Mm-hmm. So he went in and he told him, he's a Japanese guy, and he came back, he showed me his license, he goes, yeah, I told him 6'1". Now he's fucking 6'1". Hero-san.
Fuck it, go for 6'9".
I know.
I'm the only Asian guy in the state at 6'9".
Yeah. Same as Baker Mayfield in the program. Yeah, 6'2".
Right.
And JT Barrett, I think. Barrett's 6'2". I'd like to stand next to him.
Well,
he's 6 foot.
Yeah, JK
he looks
5'10".
like he's 6 foot.
Yeah, and another little side quote from Bosa was, "We've been considered the best D-line for so long, it's getting annoying." All right, I don't know. If that's a bad thing, good thing, but
you don't know how he's saying it. He's probably like making a joke of it.
So
like it's so annoying now.
Yeah, let's get into our predictions here. We got the Buckeyes favored by 7.5 as of right now.
Is that the Westgate line?
Give you the lock of the week, kids.
I can give you a bet online number real quick, but I'm sure it's 7.5. And Buckeye
7.5. Okay.
Over and under at 64.5. So, what are you guys leaning, Jeff?
Buckeyes to win, take the over, but not to cover.
Okay. So you're saying high scoring and close affair.
Yeah.
Not to cover 8, really.
I'm just saying, man, Baker Mayfield can put up 400 yards and 4 touchdowns on us. He can. I don't think he will, but that's where I guess it's where my head's going, not my heart.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm a little bit the same on. I take the Buckeyes in the over, and I take the points, and I think we smash them. I got 52.
52-24.
Add 3 to last week's games.
Okay.
49-24.
52-24.
52-24. I'm not going into a score. I'll just take the over.
Look, they're telling me about all these guys and the O line so good. Isn't it the same O line that we whipped your ass last year with?
They lost their right guard. Remember, like on the first drive, they lost one of their starters, like the first drive of the game last year.
Oh, I don't know how. I don't know. Got blown out at home if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was the right guard. I don't know if he would have. I don't even know how good he was or if he's fucking still there.
We haven't had a right guard for 3 years.
Oh shit! But you know, I could see us running for 400 yards and just physically dominating them as well. You know, they score early. It's kind of a shit game back and forth at halftime, and then we end up pouring it on in the fourth quarter just because we just kind of just beat them up and soften them so much. That could very well happen. You know what I mean? We just start pounding the football, and then our O-line starts leaning on them, go over the top, a couple of big plays. But yeah, high scoring. I think it's close. I think we have some fucking hair pulling moments, and but JT, like he always does, pulls one out. But I think it'll be a more competitive game than last year's, because the score last year did not dictate to me how competitive that game was. I don't think there was any competition against them last year. I think we just steamrolled them.
We had Cobbs on our team last year with Noah Brown. He was catching everything and making sick shit happen. Yeah. There was nothing those guys could do to stop him from catching those balls.
And I can't believe that only worked against Oklahoma. we couldn't do that in any other game.
Doesn't work if you don't try it.
Yeah, but Big Ten plays defense. Big 12 doesn't. So
yeah. All right.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna.
I'm kind of just hoping. I'm hoping I'll be able to watch the game. I'm hoping I don't have my satellite dish down the block somewhere.
Oh, Godspeed Saturday night about that time. Yeah, that could be a little windy.
Hope for some cell service. Watch it on your phone. I'm going 28-point victory, similar to last week. 49-21 sounds almost perfect. I'd be shocked if they can put up 21 on us. No Joe Mixon, the woman beater. No P. Reiner.
And that's not even a
He
legend.
did knock her
I
the
saw
fuck
the
out,
video.
though. I watched that video.
That was horrendous. That was fucking disgusting. That was so fucking low rent. Oh, my God. You're fucking up my picks. 28-point victory. I'm liking the Buckeyes to hit 50 though too. I'm thinking 56. We go straight up 8 TDs, and we maybe allow them to get 2 and a field goal. I know we won't make any field goals, so I'm going to lay off of those. And we definitely cover the over. You know me, I'm a big Nürnberger fan. So let's finish up with our microscopes. Who you got your microscope on, Jeff?
I'm gonna go back to Damon Arnett.
Oh, you cocksucker! That's mine.
A lot of talk about Damon Arnett. We got 2 of the best corners in the country. Denzel Ward was a starter last year. Damon Arnett will be a stud this year. I heard it from the coaches. I'm gonna see it. On offense, Brandon Bowen.
Okay. Interesting.
Get your head out of your ass, pal.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. 100%.
I believe I addressed Sean, I got to ask real quick. What did you think of my extra points?
I didn't listen to him. But I haven't listened to yours or Joe's. I know what I put in there.
He doesn't even know that we have a podcast.
I was surprised.
Hey, Henry, man.
I saw the champion grades come out, and I watched the game twice. They said Brandon Bowen. I'm like, what? And Joe sent me a text. He's like, that's the grade him out as. That's what the boss says. I'm like, well, fucking tape says something different, man. Because I watched that fucking tape.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's computed.
Herb came out today. It's like, first game, he tried hard, so we're going to give him a champion sticker. I don't know, kind of participation trophy as far as I'm concerned. You better do something better. And I love that spotlight, Jeff. I'm watching his ass, too. Big 6.
I don't want to see him going backpedaling into the backfield.
Backpedaling, whipping,
Star Search.
A lot of stuff that I didn't like.
Yeah.
So
who else? I
gotta see it.
Me? Well, it just as you would have it. I actually had mine on Arnett, but not just Arnett. It was a starting cornerback, Arnett and Sheffield. Okay. Like I told you earlier, those two were the two leading tacklers last week. I don't love my corners to be the leading tacklers. That means your guys catching balls all day. So
well, they didn't run it, man. I mean, they threw the ball 70 times.
I know, and those guys they made the tackles. And when I was really pissed at first, and then got to rewatch it and rethink it through, and I actually think they both played really well. And I don't know. You love Damon Arnett. I think Sheffield you could see grab onto that spot. I think Sheffield is a special talent. He got worked a little bit last week, but he's not played this type of ball yet, and he just did. I think the coaches realize that, you don't do that to these guys. You put them on man coverage out there with a guy 5 inches taller, with a seasoned quarterback throwing loft jump up balls, and it's no way to build confidence. Throw the zone out there and let a safety help you over top. But anyway, so it is. I'm on defense. I'm watching Arnett and Sheffield. I'd really like to see those guys play well, and I think you'll probably see, with as much as Oklahoma throws, they might be on the field a lot at the same time. So we might have Ward, Arnett, and Sheffield out there a bit.
I think we're going to see a lot of 3 receiver sets for sure.
Right? Yeah,
you know that.
You got to think Okudah or Wade gets some snaps, right? I mean, there's nobody left on the fucking bench.
I was really surprised not to see Okudah at all.
Hey, I ain't gonna be mad when I see those guys get a couple snaps. I can't wait to see both those guys play football.
Yeah, but they're going to go through their heartaches. You're going to have your lesser quality downs. Like we've seen with Conley when he was young. Every DB that's come through. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly a comeuppance when you're playing big time ball.
You just hope it doesn't cost you the game.
Well, and with Ohio State, it shouldn't. It shouldn't early. Late it can when you're playing some bigger teams, but we'll see. On offense, I got where's Waldo? Where's DeMario McCall? I got my spotlight on McCall, and I just want to see him. If he's still on the team, if he's still playing football, like see how he's doing. So my spotlight's on him. I want to see. I'm wondering if the one thing that the Buckeyes held back in week 1 was not giving away the McCall. The guy was so dynamic last year when he brought him in. I know it was late in games. I know it was garbage time. But when he came in, he was a difference maker. He was the best guy on the field every time he was in the game. So I'm hoping to see him this week. Won't hold my breath, but I'm hoping.
All right. So you had Arnett and Sheffield.
Starting quarterback.
Yeah.
And McCall.
Gotcha. I'm going to go with, on offense, Mikey Weber. I want to see what he comes out with, if he is truly 100% and how productive he's going to be, or if he needs to be spelled because he hasn't actually seen game action yet. I'm really curious to see what he comes to the game with. And defense, I had originally chosen Arnett, and obviously I'm still going to be paying attention to his ass. But I think I'm going to go back to the special teams and see if old Nurnberger has anything under the hood. This guy has been a big problem for us, kicking field goals. And
he squeaked that first one barely inside out.
Fuck. What was that, like a 26-yarder? Come on, man. Fuck. I understand we're on wide hashes, but for real. Anyway, so I'm always going to be a little hard on the specialists. Drew Chrisman showed up well for me last week in my microscope. So hopefully we get more of that. We're definitely going to need a good punter that's going to flip the field for us. So
we're not punting this game.
All right.
No punts.
Right.
Whoa.
You heard it here, folks. No
One.
fucking punts. One punt?
One punt.
He's already caving in.
He's already backpedaling. They're not even throwing the ball your way, Sean. You're backpedaling.
I'm gonna give him one.
All right.
Just to get the practice in.
That's a good idea. All right, boys. I feel pretty fired up for this fucking game. I can't wait to see this.
I hope we don't get fucking that storm doesn't knock out my cable.
It's turning east.
Flip shit on somebody.
It's
I hope not, boys. I hope you get to see it all. And did you watch it? Who does the Buckeyes hype tapes? Because that Oklahoma one is
That shit's fire, man.
It's
Damn.
It's from the athletic department, yeah.
When I watched the
they put
Indiana
out some
one,
solid shit.
yeah, they do. When I watched the Indiana one, dude, I teared up. The first time I saw
I
the
beat the
Indiana
shit
one.
out of both my kids. I watched that.
I got
with my kids.
aroused. Sorry.
And we're done.
But, yeah.
Damn it, Leah!
What? So anyway,
Anyways,
I think we covered everything. We buttoned her up nicely.
put a bow on that pig.
Yeah. You know
All
how
right,
to
man.
get hold of us. Hit us up, on the BuckeyeCast.com. Find us on your favorite podcast app, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, blah, 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 blah. Hit the website. Like I said, we'll be streaming each game every week, probably the 30, 40-minute version, whatever that is. I need to update that, by the way. I'll get on that. The BuckeyeCast.com. And no Twitter questions this week. I'm very disappointed. Like I mentioned earlier, we got 0 Twitter questions.
Where are you at Hardball's Khakis? I want to hear from you.
Hey, and hey, to my Florida brothers, hey man, stay safe down there, batten down the hatches, and hope all goes well with Irma.
Oh, no doubt. We're just going to get a little bit of rain. It ain't shit.
Somebody bought all the water, so I bought all the vodka.
Holla.
But,
All right, man.
all right, good show, boys, and we will talk to you later. Let's we'll get our extra points out maybe Sunday if we're lucky.
We'll try to.
Coming on you.
All right, peace.
All right, have a good one.
Later.
See you.
It's fun time.